Oh, hey guys, I'm JCFE, and today I'd like to talk to you about the top games of this generation. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to give a couple quick shout-outs to my friend Tony Pantalone for that awesome theme song he made me. And while my intro can't quite do it justice, I'm getting there. Also, I have some featured channels on my page that you should totally check out. One for my friend John Green, another for my friend Javon Gord. They both also do gaming videos. Check those guys out, and tell them I sent them your way. Now, while this generation isn't quite over yet, with a few notable games like GTA 5 and Beyond Two Souls dropping at the end of the year, I felt it was a good opportunity for us to reflect on the best games of the PS3, Xbox 360, Wii generation. So let's get started. Now, I want to bring a little personality, a little flair to my list. I don't want it just to be your standard top 10 list, like there's a billion others on the internet. So, I'm going to do an X list for the Roman numeral 10. Since I've got the JCIV, the IV is kind of like 4. Okay. Number 10.
BioShock.
In BioShock, players control a protagonist called Jack, as he fights through hordes of atom-obsessed enemies and super deadly big daddies. Now, when this game first came out in 2007, it was one of the first few games that truly defined what next gen was. This game had one of the greatest stories ever, with a twist ending that I still refuse to spoil. All I'm gonna say is, a man chooses. Number 9.
Portal.
Another game with a great twist ending. Now, Portal's story was a lot more subtle than BioShock's, but it still had a big impact, and I'm sure more gamers could laugh at Portal than they could at BioShock. Portal's physics-based gameplay was pretty innovative at the time, and helped endear it to gamers all over the world. And I'm pretty sure that this game is still being quoted on a daily basis. Number 8.
Batman. Arkham City.
Without a doubt, the greatest superhero game of all time. Also one of the greatest action-adventure games we've ever seen. Rocksteady was able to bring the very best out of the Batman franchise, as Batman actually feels like Batman. It features many characters from the Dark Knight's epic rogue gallery, along with a great story that ties it all together. Number 7.
Red Dead Redemption.
I mentioned to a friend not too long ago when the GTA Online reveal came out that it gave me a headache thinking about just how much work went into that game. And Red Dead Redemption has the same effect. You can actually see the muscles tensing on the horses as you ride off into the wild, wild west. And as is becoming a common trend on this list, Red Dead Redemption also had a very good story, as John Marston fights to get his family back. Number 6.
Mass Effect 2.
This was the first Mass Effect game I ever played, and I gotta say, it pretty much hooked me on the entire franchise. As soon as that opening sequence finished playing and I saw Shepard drifting off into outer space, crashing towards a planet, I knew I was in for a treat. And this third-person RPG experience didn't disappoint me in the least bit. Mass Effect 2 is one of those games that you really have to play to understand. The choices Mass Effect 2 lets you make are what pretty much drives the entire game. And everything you do is set up for a big suicide mission at the end of the game, which changes depending on how well you prepared for it. This game is a must-play in my opinion, and you really should experience it for yourself. Number 5.
Metal Gear Solid 4. Guns of the Patriots.
Metal Gear Solid 4 was the second game I ever got on the next-gen console. And let me tell you, it was a good choice. Metal Gear Solid 4 has silky smooth gameplay, coupled with an emotional story that could admittedly be a little bit confusing if you've never played a Metal Gear Solid game before. Or if you have played a Metal Gear Solid game before. It pretty much confused everyone. But regardless of that, this game was a must-play, and it truly is one of the defining games of this generation. Number 4.
The Elder Scrolls 4. Oblivion.
Now, I said before that BioShock was one of the first games that truly defined what next gen was. Well, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion was the game that defined next gen. Cyrodiil was massive, and you could do just about anything you wanted there, be anybody you wanted to be. A villain, a good guy, a douchebag, it was up to you. Hey, this game still holds up to this day, so if you ever feel like having a couple hours of your life ripped away from you, go ahead and give it a whirl. You still haven't beat it yet anyway. Number 3.
Heavy Rain.
I borrowed Heavy Rain from a friend about the same time as I got Uncharted 3 and Batman Arkham City, and I felt so bad because those AAA blockbusters were being neglected. Heavy Rain sucked me into its enthralling story in a way that's rare in video games, and I just couldn't play anything else until I finished it. This game sent me through a range of emotions. Fear, suspense, joy, sadness. It showed that a game can really make you feel something for its characters, even if they're not real. Number 2.
Uncharted 2. Honor Among Thieves.
Players take on the role of Drake as he goes on a rootin' tootin' treasure hunt. When this game first came out, it had a ton of hype. All the gaming news sites and all the blogs, all they could talk about was Uncharted 2. Now, I didn't get around to playing it until after it won Game of the Year. And when I did play it, I understood why. With UC2, you are playing a movie. This incredibly cinematic game pretty much set the standard for what a set piece could be, and pretty much influenced every game that would come after it. I mean, there were at least 3 times when I was playing Uncharted 2 and I thought, how did they do that? Number 1.
Fallout 3.
Just amazing on every possible level. Bethesda took the first-person gameplay of Elder Scrolls and added guns, grenades, and a 50s apocalyptic setting to give us one of the truly greatest games ever made. This game is so chock full of themes that you probably have to play through it 2 or 3 times just to catch everything. And the best part about this game is that it encourages multiple playthroughs, so you can play this game for over 100 hours and it'll still be fun. I love this game, and in my humble opinion, it is the top game of this console generation.
Oh no, I forgot one. Oh crap, what do I do? Should I take a game off the list? No, all these games deserve to be here. Maybe pacing will help me think. Well, that didn't work at all. Maybe I should just be honest. This is the internet. They'll understand. Ah, who am I kidding? This is the internet. They'll never understand. Ah, well, might as well go ahead and tell them.
Okay, guys. I forgot to include one game that could honestly take any place on this list. Are you ready for it? Here we go.
The Last of Us.
Coming out of the tail end of this console generation, The Last of Us is the pinnacle of storytelling in video games. More than any game on this list, The Last of Us meshed story with gameplay in a way that compelled you to play through every part of this game. Joel and Ellie become more than just characters you control. They become family. That's just something I've never experienced in a video game before. I cannot heap enough praise on this game. Go buy it, but please, by God, do not spoil this for yourself. This is one game that deserves to be experienced the right way. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want to see more. I will be making more videos soon. I just got an idea for a next video I want to do. I'm not going to spoil it. It'll be a surprise. So, just subscribe and keep tuned for more. Thanks, guys.